So this is 5 top tips for troubleshooting when your overlocker isn't playing ball / serger isn't playing ball. So my first top tip is making sure everything is threaded up correctly. And I know that sounds like the most basic thing, but with overlockers, it is so key to make sure it's threaded properly. Even something so basic as having this down will mean it probably won't work. It'll mess up all your stitching. So you want to make sure you've got this up. You want to make sure everything is threaded through literally how it is done in the book, including where your threads go when you're threading through these bits. So even if you do a thread above or below one of the elements in the wrong way, it will probably mess up your threading. So that is super key. I know it's a little bit of a nightmare to start with, but once you have done it once, it gets a lot easier. And you can also use my cheat method for threading as well, which you can see in my other little videos. So the second thing is the tension. So here you've got your tensions. Generally for most fabrics, you want them set to 4, but if you're doing like really thin or thick fabric, you may want to change them slightly, or if you're doing a rolled hem. So again, in your instruction book, they're really good at showing you what kind of tensions you need for different fabrics or different ideas as well. The third thing is the pressure of the foot. So the thicker your fabric, the lighter you want the pressure to be. And this here does your pressure. So if you change this, this will change how much pressure is on your fabric. So make sure this is about a 2 normally, and then adjust according to the fabric you're using as well. And again, in your instructions, it's super helpful, and they'll tell you kind of when you need to change it and when you need to leave it alone. The fourth thing is, of course, your settings. So making sure all of these things are set to what you want them to be. So normally I've got on my machine, everything's kind of like in bold as to like the default setting. So just put everything to default, like all your tensions, like I was saying before, put them all to default when you're making sure your overlocking is working all right. And you'll see here, everything is going to be on default. And then of course you can have a little play around depending on what different things you are doing as well. And then the fifth thing to look at is just to make sure if you're finding it on threads all the time, make sure you're not cutting it off too near the needles. Make sure you're just running out a couple of inches or a few centimeters so that it's not going to unthread every time, and you're just going to have it always threaded up so it's ready to use when you want it to use.